Please note that this is not the feature film Paprika. Rather, it is a review of the English dub for the film Paprika. If you would like to watch the film for yourself, it is available for streaming on Tubi, YouTube, and Amazon for the Japanese language track. If you are also interested in watching the English dub for yourself, it is available on Blu-ray and DVD from Sony Pictures Classics. Please support the official release. Thank you. Warning, the Dub Talk podcast may contain language and content that is not suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Also, please note that spoilers may occur for the feature film Paprika and any other anime or TV series we might encounter. Please use caution in case there is something that we discuss that you haven't finished yet. Finally, the opinions expressed are those of the individual participants and may not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. Pleasant dreams, lovely viewers. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Season 9 of Dub Talk Presents Summer at the Movies. My name is Stephanie, and this year I have the wonderful privilege of sitting here with my good buddy Patrick. How you doing today, friend?
Yeah, what? Where am I? Oh, sorry,
Patrick.
I just woke up.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Seriously?
Yeah, I kind of nodded off.
Have you been getting enough sleep lately? I know you've been working a lot of overnights lately, recently, but
I get by.
Did you at least have a good dream, though? Sweet dreams.
I was stuck in an airport terminal. I had no idea where I was going.
Oh, is this the one where you were in a gift shop, or did you stumble across a random taco stand there? I can't remember what this one was.
I was just sitting there, doing nothing, waiting for the plane to come. I have boring dreams.
I have weird dreams that I never remember, so if that makes you feel any better. I just wake up in the morning every time and it just sense that, oh, that was a weird dream, and I don't remember shit about it. That's how my dreams go.
There we go.
Anyway, probably for the best, because Lord knows what happens in those. Anyway, this year, we've decided that some of the movies should dive deep into our dreams and discuss, arguably, one of the most well-known films from a legendary director. Today, we'll be discussing the 2006 film from Studio Madhouse and the late, great Satoshi Kon. We're going to be discussing Paprika. Now, if you've never heard of this film before, here's a quick little summary for you. I just grabbed my DVD set, I'm not gonna lie to you, so we're just gonna read it from this. Prepare to enter the realm of fantasy and imagination, where reality and dreams collide in a kaleidoscopic mindset of sheer visual genius. The magical tale centers on the revolutionary machine that allows scientists to enter and record a subject's dream. After it is stolen, a fearless detective and brilliant therapist join forces to recover the device before it falls into the hands of a dream terrorist in this gripping anime thriller from acclaimed director Satoshi Kon. So, we're back on my bullshit with Satoshi Kon stuff.
Woo! And I get to show up for one of these.
I know, cause it was God. Because I think it was Meg and I for Millennium Actress. I think it was the OGs for Tokyo Godfathers. And then Paranoia Agent was a Classics episode, but you weren't there. So that just left Paprika and Perfect Blue in the roster, really.
And then you guys did Millennium Actress at some point. And I know I was in the group that watched that for the first time.
Yeah, was it just Megan and I, or there might have been one other person at the time. I can't remember, it was so long ago. But yeah, no, it's funny. We started talking about Kon stuff with the brand newer dubs at the time, and now we're backtracking to the older dubs now. Which is ironic, because this is the last thing that he ever did before he passed away in 2010. Yep. So, oh, the irony. But no, yeah, I think arguably this is probably one of the most well-known in the Satoshi Kon canon, to be honest. This and Perfect Blue, probably. Which is fun little, like, bookends, kind of. And then it would probably be Paprika, Perfect Blue, then Paranoid Agent, and then Millennium Actress and Tokyo Godfathers, I think, would be tied as the least, the least likely known. At least here in North America, I think.
Yeah, or at least, least immediately recognized.
Correct. Because people normally recognize Satoshi Kon for the weird, fucked up shit, like Paprika, and less for the more satirical and also emotionally dramatic stuff like Tokyo Godfathers and Millennium Actress are. But I digress. Anyway, as always, we're going to be discussing the film and our thoughts on the cast, performances, and overall English dub. And this one's going to be one crazy adventure that I'm going to make the joke now. Patrick, we need to go deeper. Womp! I have to make the joke.
Edith Piaf playing at, 5% speed.
Listen, because...
You have no idea how much it blew my mind in the end credits of Inception. When they get to the very end and they actually reveal how how Hans Zimmer did the theme song, and it was just, they started playing, Edith Piaf, and then they slow it down, and it's just like, son of a bitch.
I have not watched Inception in years. I need to go back to that, because I actually did not know this. So, surprise to me, I'm learning things today. Woo! I'm excited to get to talk about another Satoshi Kon thing. I really am. To be fair, and I may as well say this up front, though, Paprika is not my favorite Kon thing.
Mine neither.
Not by a long shot. And rewatching the movie was interesting, because there are some things that still, I think, hold up now, but there's still quite a few things that don't.
Yeah.
So, it's a mixed bag, honestly. And I personally, I think it's a shame that this is one of the ones that people here in the West, most know him for. Because he has some more, very, very amazing, phenomenal works under his belt. But I digress. We should probably, at the very least, before we really keep diving into discussion, talk about our cast of characters and our staff. What's actually really nice about this movie is there's really only a handful of characters that are important throughout the whole course of it. So we're just gonna throw everybody in together at one time and call it good. So, including staff. So, starting off with the ADR director and the scriptwriter. So, unfortunately, we don't know who wrote this. There's no listed credits anywhere that I could find. And I was talking to Patrick before this, and unfortunately, both of the sets that we have, the home video sets we have, the credits at the end of the movie are in Japanese. Yep. They're not in English. So we have zero idea, there's no credits for localization, no nothing. So we have zero idea who wrote this. So we just have a random mystery writer, I suppose.
It should be noted that, for reference, Steph is using the original Sony Pictures Classic DVD.
Yes.
I am using as reference the recently released and has already gone out of print UHD. So
yes.
I have it in 4K. Might have been slightly remixed audio quality, so there may be some variation.
Yeah, mine's the original DVD release from years ago. Is there a year on the back of this thing?
Probably like
2007.
Yeah.
2007 is when Sony Pictures Classics released it. And I was hoping to kind of upgrade my version to the Blu-ray at some point, but I didn't get to in time. I'm like, dang it. It's fine. Finances are tight, everybody, because adulting's hard.
As it is.
Yep. But even though we don't have a writer, we at least have confirmation of who the director of the English dub is. That would be Mr. Ezra Weiss, who has directed other projects such as the first season of Megalobox, along with Be the Beginning, and 86. As for our cast of characters, we have 6 characters in total. 7 technically, if you really want to say technically, 7, but it's actually 6. Let's be real.
Yeah.
So, in reverse order, we have Dr. Seijiro Inui, who is the chairman of the psychiatric research facility where all of this takes place, and this facility also created what is. Oh, it's not the nerve gear. It's DC Mini.
DC Mini. There we go.
The DC Mini, the device that lets people dive into folk streams. He is played by Michael Forrest, who has voiced characters such as Alex Rosewater in The Big O, Braya in Eureka 7, and Kubuta in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. We have Dr. Morio Osanai, who is part of the same research team as Dr. Atsuki Chiba, as well as Kosaku Tokita. Osanai is voiced by Doug Erholtz. You would have recognized him in roles such as Chota in Dorohedoro, Inspector Zenigata in various Lupin the Third projects, and as well as Shinji Mato in the original Fate Stay Night. You bet your ass I pulled that one instead of other obvious ones. You bet your ass I pulled that. Speaking of Tokita, Dr. Kosaku Tokita is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal, who has voiced characters such as Suzuku Kururugi in Code Geass, Barnaby Brooks Jr. in Tiger and Bunny, and Pip Bernadotte in Hellsing Ultimate. I tried to avoid the obvious one with him. Let's
be real. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows him as Sasuke Uchiha. It's fine. Dr. Torataro Shima. He is a board member of the facility as well, and also a part of the research group. Oh, I should also mention Tokita is a genius. A genius who acts like a child and is a big, big fat man who loves to eat. I should probably mention that for Tokita. Dr. Torataro Shima is voiced by David Lodge, who has voiced Ishikawa in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045. I gotta make the distinction. Wahlberg Bigen in Mashal, and Jiraiya in Naruto. As Dr. Toshimi not doctor, you're not a doctor. As Toshimi Konakawa, he is a detective who kind of gets wrapped up in this whole mess. So, under the name of Gregory C. Cole, we have Paul St. Peter. It's been years. It's fine. But Paul St. Peter voices Konakawa. You might have heard him as Leomon in Digimon, Ferdinand de Morcerf in Gankotsu Accounting of Monte Cristo, and Wamu in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Finally, we have Dr. Atsuko Chiba as well as Paprika. Dr. Chiba is one of the researchers involved in the DC Mini project. She's also a therapist, I believe. And Paprika is effectively her alter ego, who is the individual who dives into these dreams. Both characters are played by Cindy Robinson. Cindy Robinson, you would have heard her as Koyu Ozaki in Bungo Stray Dogs, Queen Beryl in the new dub of Sailor Moon. And I have to make this as relevant as possible. Chiyoko Fujiwara in Millennium Actress, the elder version, the one in her 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, so she is one of the 3 Chiyokos in the film Millennium Actress. She is the oldest of the 3. And I looked this up just to make sure. It's not a stunt cast that they did with the English dub Millennium Actress either. Because the 2 women who voiced Fujiwara, the 70-year-old version of Fujiwara, as far as I can tell, they're not the same person between Millennium Actress and Paprika. But I just wanted to double check that. I was like, wait, hold on. Because I completely forgot that Cindy Robinson voiced Chiba and Paprika in this. And because I was like, wait, Cindy Robinson, wasn't she a Millennium Actress? I'm like, yes, she was.
I mean...
she certainly was.
Millennium Actress does exist as a movie within Paprika, so it works.
Yeah, no, it works, 100%. Want to know what else exists in the world of Paprika that we never see come to fruition? The Dreaming Machine.
Oh.
Are you familiar with that?
I has a sad, yes I am.
Yep. I completely forgot that one of the movie posters that's advertised in Paprika is for the Dreaming Machine.
And I think the robot mascots of the theme park are also the designs he was later going to use for the Dreaming Machine.
As far as we know of, yes. Based on some of the early artwork that was shown before his passing, yes. Which makes me very sad and depressed. But I also want to bring up, because since you brought up briefly, Millennium Actress is not the only film canon in the world of Paprika. Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers are too.
As well as Tarzan, like the actual, not the Disney one, like the 30s Warner Brothers one.
Yes.
And a few others that I can't remember, because they are like actually credited within the end credits.
Yeah, there was a special one that I saw, that one of the few English credits. It was something from Paramount.
I think that might have been Tarzan. I can't remember who.
I think it was something else. I don't think it was Tarzan, but it was something else. It might have been... It was either the spy thriller one or what they refer to as the romance one. The one where the girl's beating the guy over the head with a guitar or some shit, and this dude's photographing it.
Yep.
That's what they refer to as the romance one. I'm like, what? But no. Anyway, so yeah, that's our cast of characters, and it's pretty straightforward because these ones are the main ones that really have anything to do with anything. There are a couple like secondary characters, that do kind of pop up throughout the course of the film, but I don't think it's worth... They do good!
Yeah, pretty much.
They do good. I mean, Brian Beacock is like 2 different characters in the movie. I can't remember who the other one is, because Brian Beacock, I think, is...
He's... one of them is Tokida's buddy.
Correct, and I think one of them is the guy from the virtual bar that they go to sometimes, the short one.
Gotcha.
And then you have, I found this out, Ezra Weiss is also in the movie. He is Konakawa's friend who was filming, who worked on movies with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, many moons ago, I watched the unfortunate tragedy that was the English dub of Vampire Knight.
I'm sorry.
Listen, I loved Vampire Knight when I was in high school, and then when I got older and the English dub happened, I'm like, why the fuck did I like this show?
My condolences.
And why is this dub kind of awful? Oh man, if the random day ever comes, if we run... It would be a cold day in hell if we ran out of shit to talk about in order to talk about the dub of Vampire Knight.
You would also have to convince somebody else to join you to talk about the dub of Vampire Knight.
I bet you anything I could get Gigi to do it if we were both really fucking drunk. I bet you I could do it.
Potentially.
With Gigi if we're both really fucking drunk. That's the only way it would happen. Oh god. Anyway. So, now that we've introduced our cast of characters, how do we I guess, like, we could just kind of generalize, like, thoughts and feelings, and if we want to talk about individual performances, just to make our lives easier. So I don't know where you want to start with any of these, honestly.
Yeah, so when you first posted the cast list, I saw the name Michael Forrest, and yes. I'm just like, where have I heard that name before? I've talked about him before on the show, but where? And then I remembered, The Big O.
Was about to say, was it Big O?
Yeah.
I don't think I've talked about him before, as far as I know of. I'm just gonna dig up ANN while you're talking. Continue.
He does a good performance, and I love the fact that when he's first introduced, he's super scummy, and then when the big reveal happens toward the end of the film, like, he is still very scummy, but in a very different way.
Oh, man. Like, you would think that he doesn't... This dude. So, the chairman is wheelchair-bound. I think we need to throw that context in there.
Yep.
And he's all about, oh, this DC mini project, it's invasive into people's dreams and you can control people, yada yada yada.
And what's his master plan?
Oh, surprise! I'm gonna control everything. Ha!
And in the
gotcha,
end,
bitch.
His ultimate ambition was to steal the body of Osanai.
Yes.
Who, in and of himself, is a complete piece of shit.
Oh, Osanai is fucking awful. Osanai is literally the worst.
The actual worst.
He's the actual worst. Dear sweet lord.
And it's
like
I know Doug Erholtz has played absolute scumbags in the past.
Yeah.
This takes the cake.
Bro. I never usually say this. But I'm gonna throw a trigger warning to folks right now.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I trigger warning to folks who aren't really good with assault. Let's just say that. Osanai effectively assaults Paprika / Chiba.
Yeah. In a very visceral way.
Oh yeah, he does. That's where we get our R rating, boys and girls. This movie's rated R, by the way. Do not recommend for people under the age of 17. Like, oh man. Both Michael and Doug are just, like, absolute assholes. But I feel like Doug Erholtz takes the cake on that. Like, 100%. Like, because from the get-go, you can kind of sense that Osanai is a little scummy. And he's pretty jealous of Tokita, specifically. And the work that he's able to do. Because Tokita's a genius in the field. And Osanai is kind of, in a way, lashing out to try and get Dr. Chiba's affection and attention. But, oh boy. The more it progresses, and then you get to the twist where he is involved in the whole thing. And then you get the scene with Paprika strung up basically like a butterfly on display. And Osanai is just like, watch what you say. I don't want to have to get rough with you. And it is the most, like, scummy, like, like, scummy, creepy, like, line read, and it's, like, my skin starts to crawl, and I'm like, no, I need to nope out of this immediately.
Yeah, and like I said, the scene itself is absolutely visceral in how it depicts it.
Yeah. Like, I, for the sake of the folks at home, again, because trigger warning, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to describe it in full detail, but, he basically, it's like he rips Dr. Chiba out of the cocoon that is Paprika, if that makes sense.
It is a combination of, like, violent sexual horror and body horror.
Oh, yeah.
Because in ripping that cocoon, he is literally tearing Atsuko out of Paprika.
Yup. And because Atsuko and Paprika are one and the same, yes, but in the dream world, it's Paprika, not Atsuko. So him ripping Atsuko out of there is just so... I want to fucking nope out of that shit.
It's gross.
And it's so bad. It's I'm making it sound like it's horrendous and everything. It's like, it's so bad. It's so bad in a way that it really works for the movie.
Exactly.
Right. Like, it's supposed to make you this uncomfortable. That's the whole point of that entire scene. Because Kon does not shy away from the dark, gritty, like, uncomfortable things. I mean, freaking not Paprika. Perfect Blue.
Oh.
Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is a prime example of this. There are also some moments from, like, Paranoid Agent that can, like, almost be as visceral, but they're toned down a tiny bit to be able to go on TV. So, like, it's insane how dark and gritty Kon can be sometimes with his style. And I think it's one of the things that I appreciate. He's not afraid to go there and make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which I can 100% appreciate. Like, but... Doug Erholtz, though. Yo, I hate this bitch. I hate Osanai. I forgot how much I hated Osanai. It has been... We need to preface this, because we were talking about this before we started. So it has been a few years since I watched the movie and the dub. For you, it's been a few years since you watched the movie, but this is actually the first time you've watched it in the dub. Correct? So, what did you think of Osanai?
So, a little bit of backstory. Not only is this the first time I've watched the dub, when I watched the subtitled version, it was broken into, like, 18 5-minute chunks on YouTube. That's how old we're talking.
Oh, we're in that era. We're in that era of YouTube. Okay.
So, this would have probably been, like, 19, 20-year-old me.
So that would put us at probably... Because this came out in 2006. So maybe...
It would have been after...
Late 2000s, probably.
Probably about, yeah. Within the time frame of the DVD.
Yeah, because I graduated high school in 2009, and by that point, that was when I started kind of getting more into anime. And that was the point where YouTube was doing, like, the different parts. Unfortunately, that's how I ended up watching Fruits Basket and Vampire Knight.
Hey,
ironically enough. So, because we didn't have streaming platforms. And I didn't have the money to buy physical releases, so...
Same hat. So, that is going to obviously affect how I viewed the movie back then. I honestly don't remember how I initially felt about the sort of reveal with Osanai and his interactions with Paprika. I can say, having watched this about 12 hours ago, oh boy. I was not ready for that. I should have been prepared for body horror in a Satoshi Kon film,
Yep.
but I wasn't ready for something like that visceral.
See, that was your mistake. Is not remembering how much visceral body horror Satoshi Kon will sometimes throw into his stuff.
Yep. I remember
That was
Paranoia
your
Agent.
mistake. Mm-hmm.
I got faked out, and that's on me.
we all, it's a hard lesson we all must learn when it comes to Satoshi Kon, Patrick. Whoops.
Something I really appreciate about Tokita and Tarashima
Yes.
is the two of them are kind of portrayed like today's tech bros.
In a way, yeah.
The device itself seems like a solution in search of a problem, which is one of the big concerns with, you know, the idea of the tech bro in today's modern age, where they invent the bus, basically.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll make an app where you can book a car to pick you up. Fucker, that's just a taxi.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I love Yuri Lowenthal's performance as Tokita, mainly because, for one thing, he doesn't pull the stereotypical fat guy voice.
Yes, that is always something that I'm afraid of. Usually, is like it's a stereotypical fat guy or fat girl, and they pull out the stereotypical fat voice in this, and Yuri doesn't do that here.
It doesn't work as well as you would think it would.
Oh no.
Not a lot of people can really do it in a way that doesn't feel insulting.
Not just insulting, but I think, like, very corny and very hammy sometimes, because that's sometimes where it leans towards as well, I feel like.
But the other thing, the thing I really appreciate with Tokita is, Yuri Lowenthal really digs into sort of the childish personality of the character.
Mm-hmm.
He really doesn't grasp how much of a big deal and how much harm this thing can actually do if somebody with the intent gets their hands on it.
Yeah, I feel like one of the most important scenes where you see that is when this is after Chairman Inui just stops the project altogether because they're still trying to figure out where the DC minis, because it sounds like there's at least 3 of them, right?
Yeah, like 3 or 4.
3 or 4, and they've only so far have recovered 1. They don't know where the rest are, so the chairman's just like, I am putting it into this project. Tokita is just sitting in the lab and is like making another DC mini, and Shiba comes in and he just doesn't Tokita just doesn't give a shit. He's like, oh, we still got some stuff to do and work to do, and he's just putting this together to start all over again. And Shiba's like, what are you doing? Like, and then she starts getting rather mean and insulting to him. Because he's fat. And the man likes to eat food.
Yeah.
He likes a good meal. I don't blame him for wanting to have a good meal. And it's that whole scene, it's like Tokita is just very oblivious, and he's just so hyper fixated on the DC mini and the project that he's just ignoring the consequences of what's actually happening. So in a way, it kind of brings in that childlike ignorance and naivete to the character that I think Yuri portrays really well.
And I also, I dig David Loge's sort of lower key, sort of, you could tell Shima is a medical professional,
yes.
Basically. He's not exactly cold, but he's clinical. Another thing I really like about both of these is when they have these sort of, that DC mini psychosis episode.
Oh boy.
Because they're both the characters that go through it.
Yeah. Tokita, though, more voluntarily, because he dives into, what was it, Himeno? Himeno is the guy's name?
I think,
His
Himeno,
assistant?
I think.
Hold on, backtrack. Himuro.
Himuro. There we go.
Himuro. There we go. I was close. Tokita willingly goes into Himuro, his dream. This is after Chiba basically, like, rips him a new asshole. And he's trying to figure out, like, what's going on with Himuro, and then he kind of gets sucked into the psychosis. Meanwhile, Shima is among the first that we physically see go through it at the start of the movie. And I had completely forgotten about it, because it's just so out of nowhere, which is the exact point. Because Shima, Chiba, Tokita, they're in the office, they're talking to the Chairman Inui, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the conversation, Shima's just starting to ramble off nonsense. And then eventually he runs around in the building, and he busts through a window, like a few floors up, and just jumps out the window. Miraculously, he survived.
Thankfully, there was a tree that caught him, yeah.
Yes. Thankfully. But still, like, it's... Those fun little psychosis moments are just a delight to see. Because you can just kind of see... It's not Shima and Tokita just, like, devolving as characters. But you can kind of see... Because they have a lot more energy during the psychosis. Because they're going through the most random things. It's just like, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. It's just, it's a weird, delightful moment. It's very unsettling, yes, but it's a weird, fun, delightful moment in what is otherwise pretty straightforward roles and performances, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I should probably, at this point, since we're mentioning the whole dream psychosis and Himuro's kind of dream world. The end of the movie where that starts to encroach on the real world, and you get a bunch of the Walla and Bit actors kind of going through it. That was also a lot of fun.
Oh boy. Because you start seeing the Walla and Bit actors just like also transform to be part of that weird-ass dream parade.
Yep.
And some of them in the most unsettling of ways. The one with the high school girls with the heads of cell phones.
Yep.
And they're just like singing or something, and then they stop in the street, lift up their skirt, and then a whole
the businessmen with the cell phone heads.
Just getting on all fours, looking up the skirts and taking pictures with their camera, with their phone camera heads. Like, it's just like, oh my god. It's fucking crazy. Like, this movie can be a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
I forgot how much this movie, like, can be with some of the crazy shit that happens in it.
And then we get to Konakawa, who is sort of I'm not gonna say the main character, but he definitely feels like the audience, what's the word I'm looking for?
Surrogate?
Surrogate, thank you.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, I definitely can see that.
I feel like he is the one that you are sort of meant to identify with.
Yeah, and Konakawa kind of goes through... He's going through a lot, too, because we start the whole movie basically in his dream. And his dream is like repeating, because we see it at least a second time partway through as well, because he's kind of just had the stress and anxiety of this murder case that he's dealing with, and it's also being encroached on by his past with the friend that he lost. And it can be quite a bit, but no, yeah, I can definitely see Konakawa as the surrogate for the audience, because it's certainly Chiba or Paprika, that's for sure.
Yeah. I enjoy how sort of non-linear his storyline is.
Yeah.
Because you basically start the movie at the middle point of his dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
That they revisit later, which might be the same time, it might be a different... You have no idea of when this is actually happening.
Everything with Konakawa's dream repeats itself almost in the exact same order as before. It starts with the circus, then he's trapped in a cage at the circus, he goes through, and then he turns into, I think it's Tarzan first, swinging through the jungle.
Yeah, Tarzan,
and then
the train.
Then the train, and then it's the weird romance
The musical,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, and then he's trapped in that hallway where he sees the victim of his current case that he's working on. And all he sees at the end of that long hallway is the suspect, and he's fleeing after shooting the victim, right?
Yep.
And then once he gets to the end of that hallway, because it seems almost endless for a solid minute, he goes through the door and then just falls. And that's it. That's all you get. And it's interesting that the dream is revisited at least a second time. It's not like a one and done thing. The whole point with the DC Mini is to be not just go into a person's dream, but to kind of dive deep into their subconscious, right?
Yep.
And it's for therapy reasons. So that way they can go into their subconscious and find and pull out the things that are most troubling to them, that are causing so much trauma, so much stress, things like that. That's the whole point. Which makes sense for Konakawa having this as a repetitive dream. Because this man used to love movies. But for a while in the first half of the film, he claims he doesn't watch a lot of movies, and that's a lie. Because his subconscious is telling the audience, like, bitch, you love movies.
Yeah.
And then you get... I feel like each of the movies that we see in his dream is just another layer of his subconscious that we dive deeper and deeper into until we get to that hallway. Like, you're like diving into these different layers, and for Konakawa, they're signified by these movies that he clearly loves.
Yeah. And you know what? Mm-hmm. I could have Paul St. Peter explain cinematic techniques and angles all day.
Yo, I would too. I would love that. Teach me.
That whole sequence with him and Paprika.
Yeah, in the movie theater. Where he's just talking about, like, different filming techniques. Because that is the first time after you get a repeat of his whole dream where he actually is talking about movie making, and you realize then, oh no, this man really is a fan of movies. He at least knows
his stuff about them. So
yeah.
Something must have happened.
Correct. It's very interesting. I really like Paul St. Peter in this movie. This is one of the few times we get to, at least I get to talk about him, which is fun. But he brings... I think you're absolutely correct. He's definitely, like, more of the audience surrogate. He's the outsider of this whole situation, because most of this... The majority of, like, this entire cast is all doctors at the same facility.
Yeah.
Right? He's the outsider in all this, which definitely links more, like you were saying, as the audience surrogate, as the outside perspective in all this. Because the only reason why Konakawa even knows about the DC Minis is because Shima is like, hey, you want to try this? Basically. It's like, I bet I could help you. Maybe I could help you with some of your anxieties and stuff. Do you want to try this? Do you want to be a test subject, kind of? And meet Paprika, and Konakawa falls in love with Paprika, which is a horrible idea. So...
I mean, it doesn't...
Konakawa also ends up having a thing for Chiba, and that ends poorly for him, too.
I mean, I'd say it doesn't end poorly. It just doesn't end the way he wants it to.
At least it's a little bit of a better end than what Osanai wanted.
Yeah.
Osanai's just... Yo. Osanai being shot in Konakawa's dream is probably one of the most satisfying parts of this fucking movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is after the shit Osanai pulls with Paprika as the butterfly display. That is after that shit. And this most satisfying thing, just seeing him shot. But it's also fucking creepy, I'm gonna say this. Because after Shima wakes up from the dream, and she's talking to Dr. Shima, all of a sudden there's that bloody handprint on the window.
Yes.
Of one of the observation rooms, and all of a sudden you just see this ghost spirit of Osanai coming through. I'm like, damn.
And did you notice as he's coming in, the handprint is gone?
I actually didn't. Wait, no. Did I? I don't remember. I think I was too focused on Chiba and Shima's conversation for a hot second.
As sort of symbolism of this is real, but it's not real.
Ah, Kon, you brilliant fucking man, you. God. I love it.
He's actually dying, but he's not physically there.
Yeah. Because if you die in the game, you die in real life, apparently. It's one of those. I mean, well, we already had proof that technically you can die in your dream and your subconscious can just, like, disappear in a way. Because Himuro had that happen to him.
Yeah.
So, it's not the first time we have this happen, but Osanai's is much more satisfying.
Definitely.
But no, I like Paul St. Pierre as Konakawa. I agree with you. He could tell me about different film methods all day. Yeah. And I would just be enthralled by it. I'm just is this just a new version of he can read the phone book to me?
I was about to say.
Is that where we're at? Is that where we're at? It's like Paul St. Peter can tell me all these like filming techniques all day, every day.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. This is just a new reading the phone book. As someone who is currently playing Date Everything, there is a lot of performances that are like that. Yeah. Date Everything is a goddamn trip. Holy cow.
And my god, Cindy Robinson. I mean, we kind of went over it with the character descriptions, but Cindy Robinson is essentially playing two characters, although they're two sides of the same coin.
Yes.
You've got the sort of straight-laced Atsuko Chiba, doctor of this mental health research institute. And then you have her dream persona, Paprika, which is, a lot more bubbly, fun-loving, sort of the repressed emotions that...
Yeah.
That Chiba does not like letting show in her personal life.
Paprika, I think, in a word, is free.
Yes.
Which it makes the most sense, because it's like, you're absolutely correct. Atsuko Chiba is very much repressed. She's very straight-laced by the book. Maybe not necessarily by the book, but like, very stoic, serious, and all this fun stuff, while Paprika is just this bundle of energy. And it's just, and she also is, she has a bigger sense of curiosity as well, and just this adventurous spirit that just makes her more freeing compared to Atsuko.
Yeah.
Which means Cindy Robinson has to be able to make distinct choices vocally for both these characters to make both sides come across.
And they do both sound distinct, not just in the, in the vocal choices Cindy Robinson makes on the surface level. Like, their personalities do very much shine through.
I think one of the good things with what the film did is they didn't really separate Chiba from Paprika, it's not like... Chiba as Paprika is probably considered the worst kept secret in the film. Because while Chiba denies it, everybody else fucking knows it's her.
Yeah.
And it's not some, like, she denies it all she wants, but everybody else knows it's her. So it makes for, again, the worst kept secret. But once you have that in mind, there are some similarities vocally that Cindy does, but it's still, both of them are still distinct enough give them their own life and personality, which I think works very, very well.
Yeah, I definitely respect the fact that Satoshi Kon presumably made the deliberate choice not to make Atsuko Chiba and Paprika sort of the Tyler Durden and the narrator of the story.
Correct. Like, you basically know it from within, like, the first maybe, 10 minutes, 15 max?
Yeah.
That they're the same person, despite Atsuko denying it from here till next Tuesday. Like...
Yeah, you can at least tell that they are two distinct entities, but they are connected.
Correct. And it just amazes me, because, oh my god, because, again, this is years before we have what I think is one of Cindy Robinson's most defining roles with Millennium Actress. Because she was probably one of, if not my favorite performance from the dub of that movie. And this is coming easily, like, almost over a decade later after she was here in Paprika, right?
Yeah.
So it makes for, I kind of want to revisit Millennium Actress now, because it makes me appreciate what Cindy also did in Millennium Actress as well, because she plays the oldest Fujiwara in the film, who has gone through so many different things in her life and just this big adventure. And the older Fujiwara kind of ends up as this somewhat whimsical old lady, if that makes sense. And it makes me smile now, putting together and remembering that she also did Paprika. And it's like, it kind of makes me feel like, in a weird parallel universe, Atsuko Chiba grew up to end up as Fujiwara. And it kind of just marries together Atsuko and Paprika's personalities together, if that makes sense to you.
A bit.
It's kind of fun, in a way. And I like that a lot. Considering she is technically the main character of the film, she carries it very well.
She does.
We've been kind of mixing together, talking about the film and the dub itself, and
yeah,
we've only been at it for an hour.
And I mean, because I think we forgot to loop around back to it. I like Ezra Weiss as a director.
Yes.
I feel like he understands the breadth of the characters under his kind of jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And I think, in terms of the production side of Paprika, he gets a lot of that across really well. I don't know who wrote the scripts for Paprika. Maybe someday somebody will say, hey, that was me.
That'd be very nice if we knew. I would love that. And then we could solve the mystery, the decades-old mystery at this stage, as to who wrote this.
It feels faithful to the original. I had the opportunity to watch the film with the English dub and the not the SDH captions, but the actual subtitles on the disc. And you know, it's not one for one.
Right.
But it conveys the same sort of spirit of where the original translation went with it.
When I watched it, because again, I have the original Sony Pictures Classics version. I watched it in English, but I also put the English subtitles on that are on the disc. And again, it's not a one-to-one translation there, but it's pretty faithful to how it was the Japanese version was localized, and I enjoy that a lot. I think this is actually the first time that I actually get to talk about Ezra Weiss as a director. So I'm looking at his directing credits. There's not a lot, honestly.
No.
Because you have 86, you have Be the Beginning. Oh god, you have Bo. There's Bottle Fairy Ingress, Season 3 of Konosuba, Legend of the Millennium Dragon, A Little Snow Fairy Sugar, Lupin the Third versus Cat's Eye. Season 1 of Megalobox is probably the only other thing I've watched that he's directed. You have Nier Automata version 1.1a, Season 2, I guess. Yep. Paprika, ReZero, Seasons 4 and 5. Skycrawlers, Togen Anki, and Ultramaniac.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. He's in the middle of working on something right now that you can, literally go to at least a couple of the major anime streaming platforms and watch. As an ongoing, streaming the same time as a sub-dub in the form of Togen Anki.
Oh, is that new?
It is brand new. 1 episode is out.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know. I didn't even notice that.
I mean, by the time this episode comes out, there will be 4, but you get the picture.
Oh, damn. Because Bang Zoom did this, yep. Bang Zoom is doing the Togen Anki dub. Starring, looks like Koi Dao, Stephen Food, and Zeno Robinson. That's a stellar main cast. Holy shit. I know nothing about this show. I know nothing.
I might be interested to come back around to that someday, but we'll see what the future holds. Because it's going to be 6 months from now.
I didn't realize, because I thought you were about to say, ReZero. I'm like, ReZero's still going right now, and then you said Togen Anki. I'm like, who's it, what's it?
I mean, ReZero is coming back next year, but...
The point still stands.
Exactly.
I thought that was what you're referring to, and apparently not. I'm like, wait.
Which,
surprise!
I mean, that is also super recent, so...
Also true.
And
also
Konosuba.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Megalobox is within, the past 5-6 years, maybe? As well, so that's still pretty recent.
Oh god, it's 7 or 8.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, because that
Megalobox 2 was
that was pandemic.
That was... You're right. Oh my god, I'm getting the second season mixed up with it. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh. Season 2 is 4 years old.
Oh my god. Yo.
We're getting old. My bones hurt.
My everything hurts. Patrick, my everything hurts. I've been fighting off a headache this entire recording. I took Motrin before this. In the hopes that my headache would go away. It's pretty much gone, but point still stands.
Oh god. Anyway.
We're old as shit.
A depressing way to say that I am glad Ezra Weiss is doing a lot more work nowadays.
Yeah, especially in recent years, because before this, he didn't really do much. I would say within the last 10 years, right? He has 86, Konosuba, Megalobox, ReZero, and now Togen Anki, so...
Though
he's doing pretty well.
Though I know game-wise, he's pretty prolific with the, with Fire Emblem, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to say Patrick Seitz was the mobile game, and Ezra was like Three Houses. That Engage, I think, was the new one.
Engage is the new one, yeah.
And I think at least one of the 3DS ones he did.
Wait, I thought... Hold up. I thought...
Or maybe it was a mobile game Ezra did, and Patrick Seitz did all the others. Something like that.
It might be that way, because Patrick Seitz has primarily been the Fire Emblem director. Well, along with other directors like Christian Lamont and Kristen Parati.
Maybe it was Christian Lamani I'm thinking of.
Because it looks like, for Fire Emblem Engage, it was Patrick Seitz and Christian Lamont.
Okay. My apologies, I'm tired.
You're good. There's so many Fire Emblems, though, so you're fine.
Fair.
There's so many fucking Fire Emblems, man. It's not even funny.
And honestly, probably a good time to roll into my final thoughts here.
Honestly, yeah. Again, since this is the first time you've ever seen the dub of this, I'm very curious to know what you think of it.
Paprika, while not Satoshi Kon's best, is still a very well-crafted. And I mean, not his best is still like comparing Indiana Jones to The Empire Strikes Back. It's still a very good film. It's just not the best thing this team has done.
Right.
I think it is a very appropriate companion piece to Satoshi Kon's vision. It is well acted, well performed, well directed, and for a mid-2000s anime dub, back before, I don't want to say teams were getting really serious about anime dubs, because they always kind of were. But this is right around the point where that was starting to get recognized. So, yeah, Sony Pictures Classics got together a pretty solid crew to tackle this. And it's a good end product.
I've said this a couple times already. Paprika is not my favorite Kon thing. It's not my favorite work that he's ever done. And it depresses me that this is the last thing he ever did before he passed in 2010. However, we're also saying that comparing we're also saying that in a filmography that's just like pretty much top tier. So like it's very difficult. It's like it's easy to say that this is my least favorite Kon, but it's also hard to say it at the same time, if that makes sense. But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, his filmography is nothing but heat.
Exactly.
Even the JoJo's OVAs he did.
Exactly. Like, the one thing I want to find is, oh my god, we didn't even count fucking Memories, technically, because he wrote that wrote Magnetic Rose. Goddamn. The one thing I would love to try and track down someday, and if the folks at Discotheque are listening, by some magic happenstance, there is this movie a live-action film that Kon was part of the writing team for. I think in, like, the 90s or some shit. It's called World Apartment Horror, I believe it's called.
Oh, I think I've heard of that.
I think that's the name of it. I'm gonna look it up real quick. World Apartment Horror is from 1990. And yeah, so the story is from Satoshi Kon. And as far as I know, it has never been released stateside here. Yo, Discotheque, if you're listening, because you do have that live action label you've been doing now, can y'all find this and snag it and release it? Because then I can say I have seen every single thing of Kon's. No, I can't say that still, because I have actually never seen the original JoJo OVAs. I've actually never originally seen those. But we would get much closer. So
there we go.
Discotheque, do me a fucking solid and figure out how to license World Department Horror. Please, Kay, thank you. Anyway, that is my PSA. That is my new white whale, along with the consistent white whale of having a home video release of fucking Naoki Urasawa's Monster. That is never gonna end for me. Anyway, the dub. The dub, I think, for the most part, holds up pretty well today. With this being a dub from, like, 2007, effectively.
Yeah.
There are some parts here and there that are good and they're fine, but there are some other parts we didn't really talk about too much. To me, some of the parts of the dub don't hold up as well today comparatively to newer shows, but we're also comparing apples to oranges at that point, so maybe that's a nitpick. I don't know. But for what this movie is and for what the English dub is and what it does, I think it does really fairly well. The casting is fun, performances are fun. There's some, like, it does a very good job matching the tone and the energy of Kon's work. Yeah. That is, I think, the key part in all of this. Because Kon has a very specific style of how he does things. Which, with him being the legendary director that he is and was, if you aren't able to kind of match that, the end product isn't going to go over very well. So I have to say kudos to the production team on the English side for capturing that. If you are brand new to Satoshi Kon, this is definitely your gateway to do this. This is 100% your gateway into the Satoshi Kon as a director and his work. Like, it is one of, if not the most well-known. So, if you have never seen anything by Satoshi Kon before, I highly recommend you start with Paprika. 100%. Because this gives you just an overall idea of what his style was and what his storytelling and all of his methodology is and was. This doesn't translate to everything he's done, absolutely not. But a lot of the things and techniques that he uses for Paprika, you do see sprinkled in the rest of his work. So, but yeah, all the performances are fun. The film is still really good. The film itself is still really good. I just want to make sure I give special shout out again to Doug Earlholtz because I wanted to punt Osanai into the fucking sun. He's a creeper. I hate this bitch. He's such an awful, awful human being. So kudos to Doug Earlholtz for that. And also kudos to Cindy Robinson for reminding me that she fucking did Paprika before Millennium Actress. But and again, to Paul St. Peter, I would love to hear more film methods from you, sir. Because I would just listen to that all day. That is our new reading the phone book, 100%. No, overall, I think the film is well done. Some parts of the dub may not hold up as well today, hold up well now by today's standards, but that's just apples to oranges. And there are better Kon works. It's also picking out your least favorite child, though.
Yeah.
So, like, comparatively, because I don't think I told the story. So years ago, when I was in college, I had my part-time job. I was finally working, getting some money, and I was living on my own with my then boyfriend. And I just bought up every single Kon thing that was physically available at the time, minus Paranoia Agent. And I marathoned all of them. Because at the time, this was my blog days by the way. I did a summer blog thing for the month of August one year. I think this was 2012, maybe? So this is 2 years after Satoshi Kon passed away. And I reviewed every single film that he had. Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, and Paprika. I reviewed all 4 of them. I didn't have memories at the time. And Paranoid Agent was not accessible to me. I unfortunately would have needed to go on the high seas for that. Unfortunately. But I watched all of 4 of these movies almost practically one right after the other. So, believe me when I say, saying Paprika is not my favorite and is the weakest of the Kon works is like trying to pick out your least favorite child. Like...
The worst Satoshi Kon is still a very high bar to clear.
Correct. It's just... Yeah. But Paprika, I think, out of all of his work, is probably the most easily accessible for new viewers. Compared to... Because the only other one that is super fucking well known is Perfect Blue. And yeah. I do not recommend that for first time watchers of Kon. At all. No. And maybe someday we'll tell you why, but not today. But yeah, if you're I think it's still a good film. It still holds up. But speaking of Paprika being the most accessible of the Kon canon,
it's not very easy to get.
No. And the dub in particular as well is the fun part.
I think it's still rent to own.
Yep. So it's...
And the Blu-ray and the UHD occasionally go into print.
So I did some digging. So right now, if you want to watch the English dub, far as I can tell, the only way you can is through the home video release.
Oh.
Because, for shits and giggles, because, again, I have the DVD version, right? And I didn't have the time to upgrade mine to a Blu-ray. So I was like, maybe I'll look into if there's a higher definition version on, like, streaming platforms. So, Tubi has it, YouTube has it, Amazon has it, but they're all the Japanese version. I checked. There's no way to change, as far as I could tell, there's no way to change the language track on them.
Yeah, Sony, do us a solid work on that.
Because I think Paprika is the only film of the Kon canon that is not under a different licensor. I think this has stayed with Sony, right?
Yes.
Because everything else is under G-Kids, I believe? Because I think... Okay.
Millennium Actress might be tricky right now because that's 11 Arts, and 11 Arts is dead. And I don't know if that's moved over yet.
I know Perfect Blue has been G-Kids for a while now.
Yeah, they have Perfect Blue, they have Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, but the Tokyo Godfathers moved over.
Discotheque has Memories.
Yep, Discotheque has Memories, you correct.
Crunchyroll still has Paranoid Agent, but I don't think the actual discs are in print anymore.
No, which is very depressing. But it is available to stream, so please watch it. It is a fabulous fucking show. Trying to see... Let me see if I'm shopping on Google for Millennium Actress. So, let me see here. Give to me, Amazon. Yeah, Millennium Actress, as far as I can tell, looks to be out of print. Because it is one of the weird... It is still in that limbo state. Oh no, limited edition steelbook. Hold up. Oh no, yeah, it's... Who released it?
Although, I will say, with Millennium Actress, you can import from the UK.
It looks like the steelbook that was released a few years back in 2022. That was the last time Millennium Actress got released. That steelbook was through, looks like it was through 11 Arts. So it's in a weird, that one's in a weird limbo as well right now. So this one is in a very weird limbo, as well as far as we can tell, Paprika. Though Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfathers, I believe, are both under G Kids now.
Yep.
But I don't think... It doesn't look like Tokyo Godfathers got re-released either yet under G Kids. It looks like that's still... Oh no, it's always been under G Kids. What am I thinking? Why did I think it... I don't remember. It's been too long. I can't remember if... Because Perfect Blue has always been... It was always picked up in... You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, Andrew. Go away. Andrew just came in. Millennium Actress. I'm like, what do you... No, shut up.
And Andrew cameo.
Random Andrew cameo. No, I think... I'm trying to remember, because Millennium Actress was 100% 11 Arts at the time. And as far as we know, if it still is, G Kids rescued Perfect Blue years ago, and it's still with them. Tokyo Godfathers, I think, has always been G Kids. I think.
So Tokyo Godfathers was Sony.
Yeah,
G
it
Kids
was.
got it, and they dubbed it.
That's it. Yep. Tokyo Godfathers. Yep, you're correct. So Tokyo Godfathers was Sony for a while, and then the license got dropped, and then it was picked up by G Kids. So Millennium Actress is the only one in this weird licensing limbo.
Yep.
Because 11 Arts is dead, unfortunately. And then Sony, can we do something about Perfect Blue, please? Okay, thanks. Whether that is re-releasing it or let G Kids have. You know what I would love? I would love for all of these movies to end up with one licensor, and they do what they did with the Masaki Yuasa films.
Oh, just put them all in one box?
Hell yeah! We have that box.
Oh yeah, so do I.
That was G Kids, I think?
Yep.
Yeah, because we got the box because that was the first and only time that Night is Short would be released in English.
Yeah.
So, like, I would love to have something similar like that. That'd be great. Andrew just sent me a separate link to the G Kids listing for Perfect Blue. I'm aware. I'm aware it's in there. I know that. But no, I would love... So, Sony, can we, since G Kids has 2 out of the 4, Sony, can you let Paprika go to them? And G Kids, can we rescue Millennium Actress from the pits of 11 Arts' grave, please? And then can we put them all together? That'd be great. I would love that shit. Because I feel like...
It'd be funny.
It'd be hilarious. But I feel like having a nice big collection like that would be amazing. Honestly. Like they did with Yuasa's stuff. But I would imagine it's a weird legality situation, especially with Kon's estate. So, who knows? Yeah. But anyway, we have been rambling for so long. Your best shot currently, if you want to see the English dub of Paprika, is to hunt down home video releases, whether it is the old Sony Pictures Classics DVD version like I have, or magically find some of the UHD and Blu-ray versions like Patrick has. That's really your only bet.
I will say, if you happen to linger on, like, AmiAmi or Amazon Japan, I think their version also has the dub and subtitles, so...
Really? I didn't know that. Interesting.
And I think a few European releases do as well. If you're willing to put up with Region B, that's an option.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. Because otherwise, your options in terms of streaming it would only really be the Japanese version. Which, to be fair, I still think you should still watch the movie regardless of which language track it is.
Yeah.
100%. But if you are specifically looking for the English version, home video is probably going to be your best bet. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. If you are interested in anything that we do on a frequent basis, aside from rambling about stupid random bullshit for 20 minutes, especially trying to figure out which home video release had which licensing company had what, you can follow us over. It has been a minute since I've hosted an episode. Holy fuck, my mind is a blank now. If you want to follow anything that the Dub Talk podcast does, we put up videos every couple of weeks or so, unless it is summer at the movies time, which means we put video episodes up every week. You can follow us on, you can subscribe to us here on YouTube. We are also, for audio versions, we are also available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. Social media-wise, if you want to follow us on social medias, we do have a Blue Sky, a Twitch account. We have a Twitter account that's not as active. We usually just let you know, hey, we have a new episode up. Here you go. We also have, if you want to support us in a larger capacity, we do have a Ko-fi account which offers one-time donations, and we also have our Patreon, which if you want to contribute on a more frequent basis, we love you and appreciate you for that, because it helps us keep these episodes going. And you get small, fun little perks on the Patreon, including episode shoutouts, and you get to be shouted out on episodes like this, like these wonderful people here. We have in our $5 tier, Bright Ice 505, Quinoa Soup, Marissa Lenti, Megan's Mom and Dad, and Michelle Travis. And in our $10 tier, we have Anthony Brown, Carly Lesticow, Julia W., Pika Greg, and Shoulder. Thank you so much to all of you for your continued support. If you want to catch anything that Patrick or I do, aside from sleep, because I'm tired right now, you can follow Patrick, I think primarily on Blue Sky, at Roots of Justice. Do you still have your Twitter account? It's just not as active?
I don't use it much, but it's still there.
It's still there. He's also on Twitter at Roots of Justice. It's just not as active, but Blue Sky's your better bet. Are there any other places people can follow you, or any other projects you want to shill out, bruh?
I might start streaming on Twitch at some point. Stay tuned.
Neato. As for me, my name is Stephanie. I'm also known as Lilac. You can follow me on various social medias, including Twitter, which is not as active. But I also have a what the fuck do I have? I'm tired. I also have a Blue Sky, a TikTok account, and a personal Twitch account. All of which are at Lilac Anime Review. I have been doing some streams on my personal Twitch account. I stream like 3 days a week. Monday, Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Saturdays at 11 a.m. Playing whatever really tickles my fancy. Right now, we're all by the time this episode releases, we'll be almost done with the Blue Lions route of Fire Emblem Three Houses. So ironically enough, with Fire Emblems, we had that conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm also in the middle of playing I the Somnium Files and Date Everything. So if you want a fun little bit of silly hijinks and chaos, swing on by. I would love to have you. But I think that's about it for everything for today. Thank y'all for coming and hanging out with us for another episode of Summer at the Movies. I believe, because this is releasing August 1st. I think there's one more to go before our 2-part finale this year, if I'm correct.
I believe so.
Next week, you're in for a fun little treat with a few fine folks talking about the recent Netflix release of the new Rosa Versailles movie. So stay tuned for that. And then the insanity that is our 2-part finale, which both of us will get to be a part of in our own little way. Not together, but we're gonna get to have fun with the two-part finale.
Might actually be the first time we've done a two-parter before, so this is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be, given what we ended up going with for the finale, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Though I will say, you and Megan have the biggest brunt of the work with this, so good luck to you two.
Yeah.
Good luck to the two of you. I'm just gonna say that right now. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, and I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed.
I am much the same.
Oh. What kind of dreams do you think you'll have tonight? Do you think you'll be stuck in that airport again?
Maybe a train station. We'll see. See where the night takes us.
I don't even want to guess because all I know is I'm not going to remember anything in the morning. That's all I know. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out and sticking around with us. And have a good night. And until next time, otaku on, my friends.
Otaku on the daba.